It seems I'll have to defend the wild robot. Because you see, while I was scrolling to find some clips for a video I was going to make, I found why I didn't like the wild robot. Wanted to give it, a chance. Then they said it was a review. So, since it's a review, I'm going to go ahead and defend the wild robot.
Hello, Jess2Film here with a review of The Wild Robot, which a lot of people are calling DreamWorks' latest masterpiece. Now, I love a lot of films from DreamWorks, especially like Puss in Boots: The Last Wish, which came out rather recently. This film, in particular, has some of their best art style and animation yet. The art direction of this film is gorgeous. I absolutely love the backgrounds of the film, and the character designs are pretty unique for what they are. You do get a lot of animals, but they have, again, I'm not like super versed on like art styles and stuff, and even the animation style and stuff like that, but it's almost like a watercolor design, if I was correct in there. And then I love how kind of angles on like the lead robot, which is focusing on a lot of like round designs. I don't know, great designs of the characters. I even like the voice acting, where Lupita Nyong'o does a fantastic job as this lead robot. Pedro Pascal is indistinguishable in this movie. I was like, wait, that's him after I saw the film. But I will say, what drags this movie back is the writing. This definitely feels
The writing? I mean, writing has a lot to do with plot, with character development as well, but it has a lot to do with like pretty much everything within the movie, and everything within the movie was done really, really well. Such as the character development from Roz going to a unknowing person, someone who doesn't know anything about having a family, feeling anything, no emotions, to a loving, caring mom willing to sacrifice herself and everything about herself just to save Roz and her friends. And Bright Bill going from someone who hates his mother now to someone who loves his mother and is also willing to sacrifice anything. And the Sly Fox going from someone who's just using Roz for his own personal gain to someone who's not willing to let her leave but knows he has to.
Understanding Fink the Fox, the wild robot. See, Fink starts off the movie as a stereotypical Sly Fox, believing that everyone needs to survive for themselves, because that's just how the food cycle works. But just as Roz learns to grow in love throughout the movie, so does Fink. See, in the beginning of the relationship, Fink uses Roz to protect himself from bigger carnivores, in exchange to raising Bright Bill, an act that Fink originally did for his own selfish reasons. But it isn't until Bright Bill leaves in which Fink realizes that he built a family, and in an act of his own pride, Fink returns to his every man for himself lifestyle, an act that didn't survive long, as Fink realizes how much he misses having a family. And even though by the end of the movie, Fink has to say bye to his family and Roz has to leave the island, Fink has learned that it's okay to admit and needing others, as Fink's story teaches us that everyone, no matter how strong and independent they seem, needs a loving family.
feels like a family film is a recent animated release. It doesn't really go beyond many themes, and how it executes its themes, different from even stuff that
The main way that this movie executes its themes and the like concepts and whatnot is through character development and character story, which we've already explained why it does so well at that.
Illumination would put out, which has some of the worst writing. I mean, it doesn't rely too much on crude humor. There's a lot of dark humor, and don't get me wrong, there is some moments of crude humor, but rather the themes just are kind of reduced to finding how to fit in. Oh, finding that everybody has their own purpose. What does it mean to love? And love.
And none of those are bad. I mean, it's more than just that, but none of those are bad. If executed well, and it was executed well, then it will make for a good movie.
The way where characters will show affection and love each other throughout the film, but they don't get to say "I love you" to each other. Oh no. Like why? Now, if you want no more,
People get character development. People learn. There's a theme to the story that I don't like. This isn't an honest review. This is a review with you like having a bias within it because you just like these types of themes. That's what it's seeming like to me.
spoilers with the plot. I'm not going to like spoil the whole movie, but I will go over some plot beats. So I'm just warning you there. But yeah, this starts out so excitingly mysterious, even dark, where there's some very dark moments in the first 15 minutes, and we don't know what this world is. It's a beautiful natural world, and the robot's just kind of exploring. The animals don't talk or anything like that. And I was so excited to see where this plays out. But slowly, the animals start to talk as the robot understands the world. Not totally against this. I mean, it could still be a great story with animals.
Why are you against it at all? We see how she learns how to do this. I mean, people learn how to speak not just through like English classes, but how people act when they are saying these specific things. Like if I'm looking towards water, pointing towards water, drinking water, and I say water, then more than likely that is water. There should be no issue with this. And then you can just decipher the syllables, blah 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 after that. Just to get what each word means.
Talking. But yeah, it just evolves into a story for a lot of it of the robot becoming a mother to a goose that doesn't fit in. Oh no, they're the
You're saying this as if it's a bad plot point, or if it's just bad in general, which it's not about the theme, it's about the execution of a theme that makes it good.
run of the litter, and they can't be as effective as the other geese in the flock. And it's like, are we really doing this type of story? I feel like Migration did this crap. Even that.
The Wild Robot book, which is what this movie is about and is based off of, came 7 years before that movie. So why the fuck are you complaining? And still, it's not plot points that are going to be the issue. It's going to be execution. If I have the best plot point, but the shittiest execution ever, like, literally the shittiest execution ever, worse than Madam Web type execution, then obviously the plot is going to be bad for the movie. However, if I have a, bad or even a neutral plot point or plot and it's executed greatly, then the plot for the movie is going to be good. You're taking such prejudice against this movie because you dislike the plot just at like the most basic level without understanding what plot is supposed to be about. It's not just supposed to be about these ideas. It's supposed to be about how we learn these ideas. It's about the process behind learning these ideas. That's what makes a movie fucking good.
That was a garbage movie. Where did they do these stupid tropes like almost a liar revealed, oh, a character holds a secret, and one finds out, and then they have to split up for a part of the movie, and it's like, ugh. And then one character wants to say I love you, and they can't say I love you in time, and it's like, I've seen this in a billion disposable kids movies. Why don't you do something more interesting with the plot?
I've seen this before, so it's bad. That's a terrible fucking argument. Okay, so let's use this. Let me like make an example here, right? An analogy. So using your logic, or reductio even, using your logic, we've seen guns in movies all the time, hundreds of times. Therefore, guns are bad in movies. Guns shouldn't be in movies ever. That's using your own logic. That's reductio using your logic, right? All you're doing is saying, oh, I've seen this before, so it's bad. It's bad. It's bad because I've seen it before. Which is a terrible fucking argument.
And then with the last act, it feels like they kind of want to throw in an action climax, which feels so rushed and just kind of comes off
Why and how does it feel rushed? You're gonna need to like give justification for that claim.
annoying, and they even have like a fake out death moment where I'm like, oh, can we stop with these annoying tropes? It just does not work for me. And then another thing is, at best, the film's mildly amusing with its humor, but I don't know, I didn't really laugh except for like maybe one or two darker.
Yes, the movie is sprinkled with humor. It's not mainly a humor film. If you want a mainly humor film, go watch fucking Deadpool or some shit. If you want those darker themes with still some humor or a lot of humor in the movie, go watch Deadpool. This movie isn't going to be the same as Deadpool. It's not going to have the same humor. It's not about that type of thing. It's about the character development and the character growth between Roz and these other characters within the movie.
Jokes in the first half, and even those were like chuckles, like they did that. But the jokes, a large chunk of them are, oh, guess what? An adorable character just said something really dark. Isn't that?
This just isn't true. There are jokes like, I don't know, I have 6 kids. Oop, I have 5. Again, humor isn't the central point of this movie. It's supposed to be sprinkled in there. So it's supposed to make you laugh a couple of times, but cry most times, which works. I've cried 7 times in 20 minutes.
Crazy? That's shit I see from Illumination movies. That's shit I see from the Mario movie with the Luma characters, stuff like that. I hate that trope in films, and those characters come off very.
No, now I see what you're doing. What you're doing is you're comparing certain aspects of the film that don't add or affect the plot negatively to films that people view as terrible. So you look better by saying this, but you don't look rhetorically appealing at all. This movie, that was rhetorically appealing. You? No, you're not.
Annoying. I don't know. The writing really frustrated me here because there was so much potential for the story to be something interesting, and this world to be something interesting. And speaking more of the world, I love the natural world we explore for most of the film. When we get a peek even beyond that world, it felt very uninteresting, and I was like, the design of this just, again, feels like it's from other films. It doesn't feel like the most interesting world, given the concept of what we're going for here, and I was kind of disappointed in that too.
Now you're kind of just shifting the goalpost because showing the world has no negative attributes to the show, and this is just like a future world where we wouldn't stop climate change, which then led to like the fucking Antarctica, the ice caps, all that melting, which increased the water level. And if you're talking about the robot place, of course it looks stereotypical. It's a robot place from 2016. A lot of robot places actually look vastly different than this one. This one looked quite original to me. And of course, in the future, they're gonna have robots that will be there for your own personal need and things like that.
I don't know. It became very predictable, laughably overtly sentimental at points where you got preys and predators coming together, even though in the first 15 minutes or so it was almost a brutal world of how the real world works with animals, eating each other and everything. I'm just like,
there's really nothing else I have to respond to here. Everything else is just repeating the same argument over and over again. This is probably the worst video I've seen, just because the person in it just is rhetorically unappealing as hell. Doesn't make any good arguments, and her arguments aren't rhetorically appealing either.